Welcome, dear learners. Welcome to the lecture series on investment management. Here we go with the first lecture in this lecture series on investment management. So, let us first understand the concept of investments. Investment refers to the sacrifice of funds in the current period to earn expected flow of benefits over a period of time. By this we mean that people having funds, they sacrifice. That means they lose the purchasing power by investing in the current period. They lose the purchasing power in the current period with an anticipation to earn benefits over a period of time. If suppose I have an 100 rupee note, I will sacrifice it today in the current period to earn some additional benefit on this 100 rupees note in the near future. So this process is called investment. So an investment can also be defined as the commitment of money or other resources in the expectation of obtaining future benefits. See, it is not only the money all time, it can also be other resources. See, take an example. When a proprietor brings in some cash, furniture, some motorbike fixtures, etc., etc., even that is considered to be investments. That is the reason we said money or other resources. It may be money or any other resources which is bought in or invested in some avenue. That is counted as investments. Now, after understanding the concept of investment, now let us understand why to invest or why people generally invest. Investment increases future consumption possibilities. What do you mean by this? By foregoing consumption today and investing the savings, investors expect to increase their future consumption possibilities by increasing their wealth. That means I will forego my consumption today by investing my 100 rupees note today and increase my consumption possibilities or increase my consumption capacity in the future by gaining some additional return on this sum of 100 rupees. So that is the reason why, that is the main motivating factor behind why people make investments. People always want to earn an additional income by investing their current income. So this may be the major reason why people invest. Now, people may ask a question: if we do not invest, then what? If we have savings and we do not invest, we can't earn anything on our savings. Secondly, the purchasing power of cash diminishes in inflation. See, firstly, you have savings and you do not invest. You cannot multiply your earnings. If you have 100 rupees and you are keeping it in a pocket, it does not lay eggs, or it doesn't multiply itself into some 200 rupees. So that is, you lose your capacity to earn more or capacity to multiply your future consumption possibilities by not investing. The second thing is, the purchasing power of cash diminishes in inflation. See, today inflation, the word inflation means the general rise in the prices of a commodity. See, with 100 rupees today I can buy a pen, but in the coming days with the same 100 rupees I may not buy the same pen, because this is because due to the inflation factor. So inflation plays an important role, which because of inflation, the value of the cash diminishes over a period of time, which results in which results in reduced purchasing power of the consumer. So these are the two reasons, or these two situations take place when people do not invest their money. Now, but three important factors you need to remember. But investment has problems. Investment has the following three problems. One is sacrifice, second one is inflation, and third one is risk. The word sacrifice, while investing, what do you mean by sacrifice? While investing, investors delay their current consumption, and delaying consumption is a kind of sacrifice. You are sacrificing your fund today with an anticipation of increasing your future consumption possibilities. That is called sacrifice. So this is a big problem in investment. The second problem is called inflation. Investment loses value in periods of inflation. See, as discussed, inflation leads to the reduced purchasing power. Because of inflation, investment loses value and it affects the purchasing power of the investor. That is the reason why we consider inflation as a problem. The last problem is risk. Giving your own money to someone else involves risk. This is a general statement. If you give your own money to someone, then this transaction always involves a possibility of risk. So this is also considered as the third major problem. So these three problems are considered to be the problems of investments. One is the sacrifice, the second one is inflation, and the third one is risk. Now what to do? Because of these problems, investors expect something in return. Because investors are facing these three problems, they expect three things when they invest. And due to these three problems, investors will not invest until they are compensated for these three problems. They want themselves to be compensated for these three problems. So that is the reason why the equation for required rate of return is equals to compensation for sacrifice, compensation for inflation, and compensation for risk. So an investor will invest only when he is getting compensation for the first problem, sacrifice, the second problem, inflation, and the third problem, risk. If he is protected with these three problems with the help of compensation, if you provide enough compensation to compensate these three factors, then it is termed as required rate of return, and which motivates the people to invest. And by seeing this required rate of return, it is an important factor to judge whether to invest or not to invest. This required rate of return is also expressed as also called as opportunity cost plus risk premium. So this is another derivation. You can either use the first one or second one. So today we have discussed the basics of investment management, like introduction, where we have understood the definitions of investment and basics of investment. Then we have understood why to invest, what is the motivation factor, or why people invest. Then we have understood if people do not invest, then what. And then we come across the three problems of investment, that is sacrifice, inflation, and risk. And for these three problems, what investors expect, or the compensation for these three problems, is called required rate of return. So this is the basic lecture about investment management. I hope you understood the concept of investment and investment management. In the coming lecture series, we'll be discussing on different concepts ahead. So till then, good day, goodbye.